Hey guys, welcome back to Kryptonite, because I believe that cryptocurrency is the kryptonite of our modern financial system, and I love it, guys. I am more of a believer in Bitcoin and crypto than I probably ever have been before. Just especially hearing about the new debt ceiling that the government reached, that they're probably just going to vote to raise again, which they've already done 78 other times, meaning debt's meaningless because they're just going to keep raising, they're going to keep doing it over and over again. This financial system we have, guys, is primed for a collapse. May not happen anytime soon, but it's absolutely at some point going to happen. All right. No civilization, no setup has lasted as long as the United States has. You know, the Romans, the Egyptians, the Ottomans, right? Like civilizations come and go. America has been amazing, and obviously it's not going away anytime soon. But just the way that things are moving, it'll eventually lead to our collapse. That is just, it's a guarantee. And we're already seeing the financial system basically just reach a point where there's literally no choice but to just continue to print money. That's the only way that they're going to keep the system going as it is. And you know what that means, guys? That means it's great for Bitcoin, because we know that Bitcoin is not controlled by any government. We know that Bitcoin works independently. We know that Bitcoin has a limited supply. There will never be more than the amount of Bitcoin, 21 million. There will actually be less than that, because people who've died who have Bitcoin in their wallets, their private wallets, that will never be recovered. Or people who have accidentally sent Bitcoin to the wrong address because they typed in the thing wrong or didn't double check, that Bitcoin is lost forever. So there's less than 21 million Bitcoin available forever, all time, which is the way that currency should operate. There should be a limited supply. It just makes the most sense. So we don't have that system in the US. The dollar is going to die at some point. It just is what it is, guys. Look at history. This is just the cycles of humanity. It just is what it is. So how do we prepare? How do we prepare ourselves for this? Well, guys, we accumulate Bitcoin. And again, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. But guys, I would much rather have my hands on an asset that has a limited supply and that is independent of any government, that is literally run in a worldwide network of nodes. Okay. That's why it's so valuable. That's why it's so important. And the great thing about Bitcoin, because it's proof of work, not proof of stake, means that wherever there is energy, Bitcoin can be mined. And what's great about this is worldwide, every country has some sort of natural feature that's unique to their area that can create energy, whether it's a waterfall to create power from water, whether it's a windier location, whether it's they have coal, they have nuclear is probably one of the few fuel sources that you can actually like build in a place, right? Other than that, most everything, wind power, water power, all that stuff is very dependent on, and how much oil you have and different things are all dependent on the location, what they have available, what their resources are. And what's great about that is that means everywhere in the world, people can mine Bitcoin because there's some sort of energy source that exists to them. And this is not perfect, but it equalizes the, it's easy to just acquire money. And if a small group of people had all the money, which is what is happening, by the way, wake up. That is exactly what's happening right now. We are seeing a huge wealth transfer into the elite folk. And inflation is a big reason that is causing this divide now, to where it's going to be the ultra rich who are going to literally own almost everything. And pretty much 90% is going to be people who now, don't own anything. And you'll own nothing and be happy, which is what these powerful elite people would like to do. And you know what is their biggest enemy? The WF, these organizations, Bitcoin is one of their biggest enemies, because as the dark side rises, the light side rises as well. And Bitcoin is an opportunity to preserve wealth and to transact outside of government, which allows people to have freedom and choice and decentralization, which then allows people to not be subjugated to central bank digital currencies and be forced by governments into basically complete authoritarian control. Because if your government can control your money electronically and decide what you can buy, what you can't buy, who gets money, who doesn't, who is restricted access to their money, right? All it takes is somebody in power to say, oh, I didn't like that you said that mean thing about me. Well, I'm cutting you off access to your money. Good luck trying to find something to eat. And you know what most people are going to do? Most people are going to say, I'm sorry, I won't say that again. Please, I need food, because we're humans and we have the will to survive and we have human instincts that kick in. Most people will not go hungry. They will give in because of that or death, you know. And I know I'm sounding drastic, but believe me, look at history and look at the rulers that have been in place throughout history. They have not all been good. Many have been very evil, terrible people that have committed genocide, that have killed all their predecessors, killed their enemies, killed people that disagree with them, right? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I truly believe that. And right now we're moving towards a world in which our money supply is controlled by very few people, and they would like to have even more control, which literally takes any freedom you have, freedom of speech, freedom to speak out against the government, will be pretty much you don't eat, right? And again, this is very drastic. This is still down the road that this is going to happen, but we need to be prepared for it, and we need to invest in things like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and have something that some sort of ability to store wealth outside of these governments that come and go and have their time in the sun and then die off. We need something outside of that. We need something that can exist beyond that. And I believe cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are one avenue towards that. Heavy precious metals are another, great item that has withstood the test of time. Gold has been used for thousands and thousands of years. So we need to be prepared for that, guys. With that being said, let's jump into the Bitcoin charts. And as always, we're going to start off on the weekly time frame. And as you can see, guys, we have been in this falling wedge pattern for a while. And it's possible, guys, that I may be called and possibly bought the bottom. Now, if you look back at my other videos, you'll see that around this area, this whole time, I was saying I did not think that this was the bottom. I said I thought we'd have one more move down, right? You can go back to my other videos. I said it at 17,000. This is not the bottom. We've got one more move down. And so far, I have been pretty spot on. We had one more move down, coming all the way down to about 15,300. I was able to get in a buy at 15,900 was my lowest Bitcoin buy. I also accumulated quite a bit in between these levels here because, again, you cannot time the bottom. You don't know when the bottom is coming. No one does. You can't tell the future. Your best option is to dollar cost average, accumulate at key areas, because you are not that smart. I'm sorry. You will not be able to call the bottom. I got pretty close. 15.9 is a great buy and very close to the bottom, within a few $100s. So I was able to get the 15. And again, I was dollar cost averaging, so it's not like I dumped everything in. It was just one buy out of many buys. So now the question is, have we bottomed? Are we going to continue onward? Now, the Bitcoin cycles, which I don't have up here on this chart specifically since it only goes, so far, we're right on time as far as the bottom of the market. We've seen the cycles of Bitcoin happen multiple times. We get almost an 80% drawdown, basically. We have this long winter, and then as we get closer to the halving, we start to see accumulation, and then the closer we get to the halving, we start to see movements up. Okay, so we're right on par with every historical Bitcoin thing, and I do believe that history will rhyme. It won't repeat, but it will rhyme, because we've never had an asset that has the mechanisms of Bitcoin. Every other asset we pretty much have. Gold can still be mined, so it's slightly inflationary. Any company can go down, right? If the founder, of the company screws up or they make some bad decisions, that can go down, right? There's no guarantees here, but Bitcoin is pretty secure in that every 4 years there's a halving and the amount that you can mine goes down. Thus, the amount of supply that is going onto the market, because a lot of miners have to sell in order to pay for their electricity costs and other things, it goes down. So it's simple supply and demand. It's like the basics of economics. There's going to be less Bitcoin supply on the market, and there's going to be increasing demand as the price rises and more people want to get into it, which they're going to get into it at the wrong time. Everyone always does. It's just human psychology at play. Hopefully you're getting in now as opposed to getting in way up here, right? So make sure to, if you believe in the asset, make sure to get it when it's on discount. Don't wait to buy the top. So as you can see, guys, with the RSI on the weekly, we did break above this downward trending line, which is a good sign, and we still have a little ways to go on the RSI, which is showing that we still have more on the weekly time frame. We still have more upside to go. Again, not a perfect double bottom. Obviously, it had a little dip there, but I like the chances of this being the potential final bottom. I do think my personal thought is we are going to come back up, slowly climb here to about 30K. We're going to see heavy resistance. We're going to get a massive rejection down. We're going to come all the way back down. Maybe not as low here, but we're probably going to retest the $20,000 level after getting a rejection from 30K. It may even range here before continuing, breaking 30K finally, getting supported, and then at that point it's going to be kind of off to the races. Once we claim that 30K level and come up, it's going to be pretty wild. But again, for now, I do think we do have more upside. I think 30K makes sense if we look at, for example, a Fibonacci retracement from this last swing high to the swing low. You can see that the 618 Fibonacci level here is right at 29,320, lining perfectly with my already line here. So that's going to be a major level right there. Another interesting note was the fixed volume profile, which I'm going to pull up for you right now. From the top here to here, as you can see as well, the top of our we got three zones here on the on the fixed volume profile. You've got the, I'm blanking on the names right now, of course, but anyway, we do have one more big volume cluster right here at 30K. With that lining up. So we've got three levels lining up perfectly. The Fibonacci 618, we've got our volume profile level here, and as well as my own drawn, just line visibly that you can see. So 30K is going to be a massive level of resistance. There's no doubt about it. Right now we're trading right around the center of our volume cluster right here. So we'll see. It likes to suck back into those areas. If we get a clean break above, then it's going to want to suck back to the top, which is right here, and then if it gets rejected, it's going to want to suck back down to, again, around 20K. So I could very much see that coming back up here, getting rejected, sucking back up to our mid-level here. There's a name for these, and I'm totally blanking at the moment, but we're going to come back and retest this area. That is my current thought. So major level 30K, pretty obvious at this point for anyone who is involved in cryptocurrency. Now let's jump down to some shorter time frames. As you can see on the daily, it does look like we have a nice little W pattern here. Boom. And a nice nice move. We might have sort of reached the end of that price move though, which, let's see if we probably broke about right there. So we still have a little bit more room. Again, 25,000 is probably the target around for this W pattern that is playing out. This move does look quite parabolic in nature. Well, we'll see if we get, obviously we want to see a healthy trend. We want something that has, a healthy amount of pullbacks and nothing too parabolic. I guess in comparison, it's not too parabolic, but it does look, that's pretty intense to not have a single, basically one red candle, right? So I do think that we are due for a big drawdown at some point here. Usually when you get this sort of parabolic type move, you are going to get a big drawdown. It's not going to come all the way back, but it will be a nice drawdown. As you can see here, it does look like that I think I already talked about this, we sort of broke out of our falling wedge, retested, got support right here. See, we have this long-term down trend line. We broke it, we came up, we sort of retested the bottom of it, and now we're moving up. So that's also another bullish indicator as well. And then I lost my RSI. Where'd my RSI go? Because I had the weekly RSI, which decided to disappear on me. Weirdly. Where are you? Come back. Oh, I guess I just hit it on accident. Oh, I lost my good one that I had work done on. Great. Anyway, the weekly one is oversold here, as you can tell, a little double bottom on it. Does have more room to the upside as well. Let's drop down to some smaller time frames here. Let's go to 4 hour. So made our sort of double bottom, one, a little higher on the W, right? We got the W, second W is a little higher. That's pretty textbook. Coming up, nice parabolic move. We had a flag type pattern, which was breaking to the upside, which tends to not perform as well. You kind of want it to go and angle downward and get a retracement, and then it goes up, but it's not impossible for it to be an upward tilting bull flag, which looks like that's might be what it is. Looks like we had a little fake out here, guys, where I bet you some big money was probably like, oh, knew a lot of traders were looking at this and knew that they could trap some people if a candle got big enough showing a breakout or breakdown from this. Then that move probably trapped a lot of traders right there, and that was sort of the spring for this next move, right? So when big money's looking to get in on a position, they need liquidity, and so they're going to try to trap traders. This was a perfect textbook trap and spring, where we had this line that a lot of traders are probably looking at, and they're probably like, oh, I'm gonna look for. Well, as soon as it breaks one, I'm gonna trade it. Again, this red candle at one point was like super big. It came all the way down here, so there was just like one fat red candle, and a lot of people jumped in on that, as you can see, thinking like, oh, we're gonna break down, but it was a trap, and we came right back, reclaimed this previous level here, which I have drawn, and then bam, breakout to the upside. So it could be a double fake out, but I'd say more likely, based on the bullish flag nature, that it's going to continue up again, probably around to 25,000. In fact, I'd love to see my volume here real quick, just to see big volume spike going in, which is what you want to see. You want to see sort of declining volume as it's going through, which we kind of saw. And it's still declining volume technically, so that could be a tough one. It might not be, this pattern might not be fully mature yet. Sometimes you'll think it's one pattern, and then it'll turn out to be a whole other pattern. So no guarantee this goes up. What I personally would wait for, I would wait for a breakdown, and if to retest this level here. And even if like we want to draw like a little lower, for example, let's say it came back down and retested both the top of our flag and my support level here, I would feel a lot better about getting into it. After it's reclaimed this level, it comes back down. We have two supports there. It gets a candle formation here showing it's going up, maybe some extra volume. Then I'd feel a little bit better, especially because we'll get. And as you can see here, we might be forming a bearish divergence depending on if this one keeps going. We might have a lower high here, but a higher high, which is a bearish divergence, which multiple of those can play out before we get a bigger drawdown, but it is something to be aware of. So I personally, I'm not jumping in right now. I'm waiting for a reclaiming of this level here, just to come down, some support here, and then you could try to take a trade from this support level if the candle formation looks right. So that's what I'm waiting for. But I do think 25K is probably incoming here at some point soon. In fact, let's take a look at the fixed volume for just this little range here and kind of see what we got going on. Okay, so we do have our top here, about 24,000. So obviously we got some other movements here as well. So that could be a pretty good level as well to look to take some profits on. 25,000 looks like we've got again liquidity, previous resistance, the top of our volume profile there as well. So that absolutely could be a place for profit taking / a potential reversal, come back down, maybe have a bigger drawdown, and then continue on. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm waiting right now. I'm holding back any trades. Of course, if you're dollar cost averaging, keep dollar cost averaging. This isn't a bad buy point. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't, if you're buying a small chunk of Bitcoin right now, I don't think that's bad. These prices are, when we get back up to 60K, you're not going to really care if you bought at 20 or 22. You're just going to be happy that you bought in the 20s. So again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Okay, that's what I got for you. We can jump down to smaller time frames if we want, kind of see, maybe we're starting to sort of top out here. Yeah, a little bit less volume here on this move. As you can see, we're already kind of slowing down a little bit. So we'll see, we might have had a little reversal here. And maybe we'll get my nice little comeback to these levels. That's what I would be looking for. Guys, that's all I got for you on this one. Trying to keep it short. Trying to get back in these more often as we see that Bitcoin might be finally making its move. And guys, I'm excited. I'm excited for crypto. I'm excited for the future of a world, in which Bitcoin is a world reserve currency and used by multiple countries as a way to hedge against the corruption of different governments and just money printing that literally only hurts the people, does not hurt anyone else but the people. People in power get to spend that money at its full value while everyone else loses buying power, loses money, and is just trapped in their currency. So Bitcoin is a great solution, I believe, to what is going on in the world right now. And those big elites are scared of it, but that makes sense because it takes away power and control from their end, which is absolutely what is needed. Guys, that's all I got for you. Again, make sure to save your money, grow your money. Kryptonite out. I don't remember how to stop it. It's been so long since I've done a video. Yeah, I don't even remember how to stop it. Any ideas, guys? How do I stop the video? I don't even know. Let's go. Quick time. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to click on this. And then, no. Bruh. Oh my gosh, people. I don't know how. Oh, there it is.